Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Jackie and I've got journals to share with you that will be going into my Etsy shop. When you see these videos, that means that the journals are in the shop. If they're not there, I'm afraid that probably means they're already gone. So this one is Delia and she measures 5.5 by 8.25. I want to get through these quickly, but I just want to say thank you to everybody for continuing to support me and watch my videos. I haven't been able to share many tutorials and things lately, but I am planning to get back to those when my personal circumstances improve a little bit. So Delia is a fabric covered cardstock journal. You can see the different fabrics I've used on here. Mostly they're contemporary. This is a little bit of vintage lace, and Delia is a postcard. I don't know who Delia Mason was. I probably should look her up, but there's a little bit of writing on the back of that. No stamp. Obviously you could use it without the card. I quite liked the way she looked in there. Sari silk ties through eyelets. Let's get rid of this letter. So that's the front cover. This collaged envelope is something I got from Sarah at Crafty Paper Bits. Can't remember what it was. I think it was an envelope, and I've sort of cut it up and reused it. So this is her design, not mine. This is a card I've put together. I've sewn straight through that one. Some vintage photographs there. This is a little vellum pocket. I can get this out. There is a photograph in there, an old vintage photograph. I have backed it because it was very thin paper, and it's a couple and a dog from early in the last century by the look of it. This is Tim Holtz paper and this is Tim Holtz paper. You can see where this is reinforced with fabric. In this pocket I've got my porch prints. This is my porch prints digital. I think it's Granny's Attic I've used in this one. Little bits in there. This is a scrap of vintage document. This is my porch prints, and these are just little scrappy pieces that I've gathered. In this pocket I have another digital page. My porch prints, I think. I might be wrong about that. It's definitely that's my porch prints. I'm not sure about this one. That could be Dust to Roses or Ruby and Pearl even. I should write it down, I know. This is from a Good Housekeeping magazine from the 1920s. This is a book page or an image from a book. This is from a calendar of vintage photographs. Little bee charm on there. In here I have an old French document, 1905, and some avocado dyed paper which was gifted to me by the very lovely Jo in New Zealand. Thank you, Jo. A botanical page, piano roll paper. This is a vintage document from 1942. It's very thin, so I've backed it onto tea-dyed paper, very lightly tea-dyed paper. This is a library card, vintage library card, and a little vintage photograph. I've got the fabric flip here and a Flower Fairy slide. This is botanical book page, vintage French ledger. This is from a vintage French book. This is just a pretty floral page, and I've put some sari silk on the spine. Oh, excuse me. In this pocket, this is chapter 1 papers. I have French embroidery page and an old postcard Christmas postcard, although it doesn't look very Christmassy on the front. It has got a Christmas greeting on the back. This is from Auntie Emmy, and I presume that's Uncle Frank. There's no date on that one. This is from a stamp book, a bit of vintage ledger. This is from my old 1920s Flower Fairy book. I haven't stitched that one. A little bit of sari trim. This is some lace. I just threaded some handmade paper through that. There's another page from the Good Housekeeping magazine. And a botanical tag that I've put together. It's just, card just stops everything falling through. This, I think is Ruby and Pearl. And I've backed it with an Amity Bloom digital. This pocket, there's a document from 1932. And another little Flower Fairy journal card. In here, just a scrap of vintage document, I presume from 1898. Looks quite old. And a little library card that I put some fussy cutting on. This is the Granny's Attic, chapter 1. In here there's an envelope from Granny's Attic. I've dressed it up a little bit, and that's got lots of little bits in there, including an authentic cabinet card. Dressed up in all her finery. Love those. There's a bit more of that lace. Excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Here I've got a mortgage document. It's very fragile. Probably will tear in the middle there. And I can't see a date on it. Excuse me, I'm going to have to blow my nose. Full of allergies this morning. So there's that. I've topped that with a botanical journal card. This is just from my Rose book, just a very pretty picture, and an Edgar Allan Poe verse on the other side. And I just liked the way it made the page look. The colours all toning in, and on this side as well. A little pocket with that sari trim. I've just clipped these in because they're liable to fall out. That's from 1878. And then I've got playing card and a little Latin flashcard. I just clip that, just stops them falling. See, it still looks quite nice. A butterfly on that pin. Another pocket, scrappy pocket, with another page from that embroidery magazine. Some vintage ledger and a vintage postcard. In this pocket I've put a couple of old photographs. I've got Betty Ann, even though this book's called Delia. I have to think of how Betty Ann is related to Delia. And a tag that I put together in the other bit of that scrappy pocket from Sarah. So that's Delia. She'll be in the Etsy shop shortly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again shortly.